Pack your belongings, because someone does not want you to be. God says this message reaches you in a moment when the atmosphere around your spirit is shifting in ways you cannot see yet, but you can already feel the quiet movement of something unusual in your heart. God says He has watched every moment of your journey, every breath, every unseen prayer, every silent tear, and He knows what your soul has been battling with in the background. Things you couldn't tell anyone, things you kept inside because there was no safe place to release them. And today, at this exact moment, God says this message is being delivered to you because something important has been revealed in the spiritual realm. Archangel Michael has come forward urgently, for your protection, your peace, and your next step. And he says you must not ignore what is being whispered into your spirit right now. You are being guided gently, lovingly, and safely. Nothing will harm you, nothing will go wrong, for God surrounds you with a shield that no force can break. But you must listen with your heart open. God says there is a reason you have been feeling unusual energy around you, a reason why your intuition has been rising, why your dreams have been shifting, why your mind has been trying to alert you to something without fully knowing what it is. There is a situation in your environment, a movement in your surroundings, a plan unfolding behind the scenes, and God says it is time for you to be prepared. Not afraid, not stressed, not worried, just prepared. God says, pack your belongings, not because danger surrounds you, but because destiny is moving you. And yet the reason this message comes with urgency is because someone around you, someone whose heart has not been aligned with yours, someone who benefits from your stillness and your silence, does not want you to step into the next phase that is waiting for you. This person sees the blessing that is arriving for you, the opportunity forming for you, the shift that is divinely timed for you, and they fear that if you move forward, their influence over your peace will end. God says this has nothing to do with revenge, nothing to do with conflict, nothing to do with negativity. Rather, it is about the spiritual truth that you have outgrown the environment they hope to keep you in. Archangel Michael says he has been watching over you, noticing the subtle signs that tried to come your way, the way certain interactions suddenly changed, the way some conversations felt different, the way some people behaved strangely around you without explanation. He saw the hidden intentions, he saw the silent resistance, he saw the quiet attempts to keep you in the same place, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, even physically. But what they do not understand is that your life is not controlled by people. Your life is guided by God, shielded by divine light, uplifted by celestial hands, and protected by the one who sees beyond human plans. God says the person who does not want you to step into your new phase does not control anything in your story. They cannot delay you. They cannot block you. They cannot dim what God has already prepared for you. But God says you must be aware so that you do not remain in a place where your spirit is being stretched thinner than necessary. God says your movement is not about fear, it is about alignment. When God says pack your belongings, He is telling you that your spirit is rising to a new level. You are being lifted gently toward a place where peace is steady, where clarity is strong, where blessings come more easily, and where love surrounds you. But because someone near you has sensed this shift before you fully realized it, their energy has changed. Their actions, their expressions, their words, they have carried a different tone lately. Maybe you felt it. Maybe you noticed that something was off, but you couldn't explain it. Maybe you felt the weight of certain situations without knowing why. God says it is because your breakthrough is closer than you think, and the closer a blessing comes, the more the truth of people's hearts reveals itself. Archangel Michael says he has stepped in because there is something you must know. The person who does not want you to move forward is someone who fears losing the comfort of your presence. They fear losing the advantage they have taken emotionally, mentally, or energetically. They fear losing access to you. They fear that once you rise, once you walk into your next phase, once you embrace the blessing God has placed near your doorway, they will no longer have the same position in your life. God says this is why their heart has not wished for your progress, and this is why heaven has sent you this message, because it is time to choose your peace over their expectation. God says your spirit has been quietly preparing for a shift even before you consciously realized it. Certain doors closed unexpectedly. Certain relationships felt distant. Certain routines stopped working. Certain places felt uncomfortable. Certain situations no longer matched your energy. God says this was not accidental. This was the gentle repositioning of your soul, guided from above. Sometimes, before God moves your life, He changes your feelings. He removes the attachment. He removes the comfort. He removes the familiarity so you can be ready for what comes next. Archangel Michael says the urgency of this message is not because you are in danger, but because the window of your transition has opened and you must move with faith, not hesitation. He says your belongings represent more than physical items, they represent your experiences, your lessons, your healing, your growth. Everything you have carried emotionally and spiritually. God says pack them gently, with love, without fear, because you are about to step into a place where your spirit can breathe freely, where your heart can finally rest, where your mind can exhale, where your soul can rise without resistant energy pressing against it. God says the person who does not want you to be free from their influence is someone who once enjoyed your dependence, your availability, or your silence. They were comfortable as long as you remained where they expected. They felt secure when your life was quiet, predictable, or limited. But God says this next chapter is not about their comfort. It is about your destiny. It is about the divine plan unfolding for you. It is about the blessings being released into your path. It is about the purpose that has been waiting patiently for you to step into it. Archangel Michael says he stands by your side with his sword of divine truth, not a sword of conflict, but a sword of clarity, cutting through confusion, revealing the true intentions of hearts around you, guiding you toward what aligns with your soul. He says you are safe. He says you are protected. He says nothing will go wrong. He says the divine shield around you is strong enough to silence every uncertainty and dissolve every doubt. God says your next steps will bring you into a place where your spirit can flourish in ways it never could before. You will feel lighter. You will feel clearer. You will feel more yourself. God says the reason the message is urgent is because the moment for your elevation is now, and heaven does not want you to delay your blessing by staying in a place where someone quietly hopes to keep you small. God says you were never meant to remain where your heart feels restricted. You were meant to rise. God says as you prepare your belongings, know that you are not losing anything. You are gaining everything. You are stepping into alignment, into blessing, into purpose, into clarity, into peace, into the quiet joy that comes when God Himself goes before you. And He has already gone ahead of you. He has already prepared your path. He has already cleared obstacles you cannot see. He has already arranged divine connections and opportunities waiting for your arrival. God says the person who does not want you to move forward will not succeed in holding you back. Their limitations do not limit you. Their doubts do not define you. Their intentions do not shape your destiny. God says your life is written by His hand alone, and nothing written by God can be undone by human intention. Archangel Michael says the moment you receive this message, the spiritual shift begins. He surrounds you with clarity so you know where to step. He surrounds you with strength so you move confidently. He surrounds you with protection so you feel safe. He surrounds you with divine reassurance so your heart remains calm and steady. God says pack your belongings because your spirit is ready. Your blessing is calling. Your new chapter is waiting. And no one, not even the one who hoped to hold you back, can stop what God has prepared for you. God says this is being delivered to you in this exact moment because your spirit has been sensing something shifting around you, but you didn't know how to put it into words. Archangel Michael has stepped forward with great urgency, not to frighten you, not to overwhelm you, but to prepare you, guide you, and place divine protection around your life. This message comes wrapped in light, because the truth is becoming too strong to stay hidden. God says every second of your journey matters, and what you are about to read is not an accident, not a coincidence, not a random moment. This is a divine appointment. You were meant to see this. God says someone around you has been pretending to celebrate you, pretending to support you, pretending to be connected to your joy, but their heart has not been aligned with the love they show on the surface. They have been keeping an intention that does not match their words. They have been carrying a quiet resistance toward your blessings and your progress. They have been uncomfortable with your elevation, with your healing, with the new opportunities beginning to move toward you. And because this matter has started to reach a level that could interfere with your path, God says He is stepping in. Archangel Michael says you must prepare yourself because a spiritual shift is taking place, and when shifts like this happen, certain people begin to reveal themselves without even realizing it. God says the reason you have been feeling a strange heaviness at random times, or sensing a change in someone's tone, or noticing subtle behavior that felt off, is because your spirit is picking up what your eyes have not yet fully seen. You were chosen to see the truth before it could affect your future. You were chosen to receive this warning before anything could move in the wrong direction. God says pack your belongings, not in a literal sense of running or escaping, but spiritually. Mentally and emotionally pack your belongings. Prepare yourself, prepare your heart, prepare your mind, because you are being moved away from an environment that no longer matches your destiny. God says someone does not want you to be in peace, someone does not want you to grow, someone does not want you to discover the greatness inside you. They have been projecting doubt where God placed certainty. They have been speaking discouragement where heaven planted possibility. They have been silently hoping you would stay where you are so that they could remain comfortable in comparison, but God says your life is about to expand. Doors are opening. Opportunities are forming. Paths are clearing. What they tried to limit cannot be limited anymore. Archangel Michael says this is urgent because your soul is stepping into a new season, and not everyone around you has the capacity to support that growth. Some people enjoy you when you are uncertain, because your uncertainty makes them feel confident. Some people enjoy you when you depend on them, because your dependence gives them purpose. Some people enjoy you when you remain quiet, because your silence keeps them comfortable. But God says you were not created to remain where you are. You are being elevated. The divine realm is surrounding you right now, watching over your steps, guiding your movements, clearing your path. God says you must trust what you feel, not what people want you to believe. Trust the discomfort. Trust the sudden intuition. Trust the way certain conversations left you feeling unsettled. These feelings are not random, they are divine signals meant to prepare your spirit for what is coming. God says someone around you has been trying to slow you down. They don't want you to be more successful than them, more peaceful than them, more healed than them, more blessed than them. They don't want you to be in a place they cannot reach. They don't want you to shine in a way that exposes their own lack of growth. And because of that, they have been speaking behind your back, doubting your progress, questioning your worth, and trying to influence how others see you. But God says their words have no power here. Their intentions cannot touch you. Their energy cannot block what heaven is strengthening. You are being lifted above their reach. Archangel Michael says this message is important because you have given certain people too much access to your heart, your thoughts, your dreams, and your hopes. You shared your plans with people who were not ready to receive them with purity. You trusted individuals who seemed genuine but carried hidden envy. You kept certain connections alive out of loyalty, even when your spirit knew it was time to walk away. And now the divine realm is intervening. God says pack your spiritual belongings because you are being moved into a safer place emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. You are stepping away from old patterns, outdated connections, and hidden resistance. You are moving into a life that feels lighter, freer, and more aligned with who you truly are. God says this next chapter requires you to disconnect from those who do not honor your growth. You are not being punished, you are being protected. The reason the divine is urging you so seriously is because the next blessing coming toward you is big. This blessing has the power to change your life in ways you have not even imagined. This blessing requires a peaceful environment. This blessing requires clean energy. This blessing requires genuine support. And the person who does not want you to be elevated cannot be part of what God is preparing. God says you are safe. Nothing will go wrong with you. The guidance is here not to fill you with fear but to prepare your heart for greatness. Your life is about to move faster than you expect. Opportunities will open unexpectedly. Messages will reach you at the right moment. Someone will step in with help you didn't see coming. A breakthrough will appear as if it arrived out of nowhere. But heaven has been preparing this for a long time. God says the reason you are reading this is because He is aligning you with clarity. He is clearing your vision. He is lifting you out of confusion. You will soon understand who is truly for you and who only benefits from being around you. Your intuition will sharpen. Your discernment will increase. Your heart will feel lighter as certain energies naturally fade away. Someone around you does not want you to be protected, does not want you to be celebrated, does not want you to be stable, because your stability exposes their own lack of effort. But God says that ends now. Heaven has stepped in. Archangel Michael says he has placed his shield around your life. No hidden intentions, no silent jealousy, no disguised discouragement will touch your path. The moment you finish reading this message, a spiritual shift begins. The atmosphere around you changes. The protection around you strengthens. The people who are not meant for your next chapter will begin revealing themselves in small, unexpected ways. Let them. Do not resist the signs. Do not ignore the intuition. God says trust the truth when it appears. You will not lose anything meant for you. What is coming will replace everything you felt was missing. God says you have been carrying too much weight on your heart, trying to understand why people act the way they do. You questioned yourself when others became distant. You doubted yourself when someone's attitude changed. You blamed yourself for situations that were never your fault. But God says the reason you felt that heaviness is because you were sensing the real intentions behind their words. You were feeling their discomfort with your blessings. You were feeling the truth that heaven is now confirming. You will soon understand why certain people could not go with you. God says prepare your soul. Pack your inner belongings, your wisdom, your strength, your experiences, your courage, because you are being lifted into a higher place. This next level requires emotional maturity, spiritual clarity, and divine alignment. You are not walking into a storm, You are walking into a transformation. God says you are safe. You are protected. You are guided. Nothing will go wrong with you. The divine realm is holding you, watching over you, and leading you into a life filled with peace, abundance, and truth. You just have to trust God and pray, because everything that once felt unclear will soon make perfect sense. This is your moment. This is your protection. This is your awakening. God says He is with you, and the truth is being revealed so your future can unfold without interference. If you believe in God, type Amen. God says this is the moment your soul has been prepared for, the moment when the weight you've been carrying quietly, secretly, silently becomes the very reason heaven turns its face toward you with urgency. God says that what you're about to read is not random, not accidental, not a coincidence drifting through your day. Archangel Michael says this message has been pushed toward you with divine force because your spirit has been sensing something shifting around you, something you couldn't name. Something you could feel even when you tried to ignore it. God says you were never meant to walk through this moment alone, and because of that, heaven is speaking with urgency, with clarity, with love, and with the authority that only God can carry. God says that the words reaching you right now are an answer to the prayer you didn't even speak out loud, the prayer that lived inside you in the form of worry, confusion, heaviness, and that strange feeling that something around you was not right. Archangel Michael says he has been trying to get your attention for days, trying to place signs in your path, trying to warn you gently, trying to nudge your spirit, but you felt tired, distracted, overwhelmed, or surrounded by energies that made it hard to listen. But today, God says the message can no longer wait. Heaven says there is urgency because something is unfolding around you, and you need to hear this with an open heart and a strong spirit. God says, pack your belongings, not because you are in danger, not because something terrible will happen to you, but because someone connected to you, someone with a connection to your life, your space, or your path, does not want you to rise, does not want you to grow, does not want you to step into the version of yourself that God has chosen for you. God says this person has been resisting your spiritual elevation, resisting your blessings, resisting the shift that heaven has been preparing for you. God says this message is not about fear. It is about preparation. It is about clarity. It is about guidance. Archangel Michael says that the phrase pack your belongings is symbolic and spiritual, meaning prepare your spirit, gather your strength, hold on to your faith, and get ready to step into a new chapter that someone in your environment has been trying to keep you away from. God says someone around you benefits when you stay small, when you stay confused, when you stay stuck, when you doubt yourself, when you question your worth, when you remain where you are instead of stepping into where God is leading you. Heaven has seen what you have not seen. God has heard the conversations you were not present for. God has observed the intentions hidden beneath smiles and familiar voices. There is someone whose spirit is not aligned with yours, someone who has been pretending, someone who whispers negativity behind your back, someone who fears the moment you rise because your rising exposes their intentions, their insecurities, and their hidden envy. God says this message is coming to you because this person's energy has reached a point where it cannot be ignored. Archangel Michael says he has stood between you and every hidden harm. He has blocked attempts to weaken you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically. There were moments you felt tired for no reason. Moments when your confidence dropped suddenly, moments when you felt heavy, confused, or anxious without understanding why. Michael says some of that was not yours, it was the spiritual residue of the jealousy, negativity, and silent resistance directed toward you. God says that the reason you did not fall, the reason you did not break, the reason you did not lose yourself is because heaven was protecting you even when you didn't know what you were being protected from. Now, God says this is the moment when truth becomes louder, when intuition becomes sharper, when you begin to feel the shift that has already started in the spiritual world. Someone does not want you to be free. Someone does not want you to heal. Someone does not want you to move into a better place emotionally or spiritually. Someone does not want you to discover who you truly are. Someone does not want you to leave the space where they can influence you. Someone does not want you to rise above the environment that has kept you tied down. God says this message is here to break that chain. God says your blessings have already begun moving toward you, an opportunity, a breakthrough, a divine rearrangement, a new phase of your life that requires your soul to be ready. Archangel Michael says the enemy of your growth is uncomfortable because they can feel that you are about to outgrow them. They sense you are about to step into a version of yourself that will no longer fit inside the box they placed you in. They know that when God elevates you, you will no longer depend on them emotionally, spiritually, or mentally. They fear your independence. They fear your strength. They fear your healing. But God says nothing and no one can stop what heaven has written for you. God says, prepare yourself. Pack your spirit. Pack your faith. Pack your courage. Pack your intuition. Pack your wisdom. This is a transition. This is not a threat. This is a transformation. This is not fear. This is divine preparation. God says you are stepping out of a space where your light was dimmed and into a space where your light is required. Someone has been trying to hold on to you because they are afraid of losing the version of you that makes them feel powerful. But God says this is not their season to control you, this is your season to rise. Archangel Michael says he has placed spiritual armor around you. You are protected. You are safe. Nothing will go wrong with you. God says the path ahead is blessed, but before you walk into it, Heaven wants you to detach emotionally from the expectations others have placed on you. Someone has been draining your energy, maybe through guilt, maybe through judgment, maybe through manipulation, maybe through silent resentment. God says their influence ends now. Their control ends now. Their unspoken power over your emotions ends now. God says your spirit is waking up. You are remembering who you are. You are remembering that God has chosen you for something bigger than the environment you were placed in. You are remembering that your life is not meant to be lived under fear, confusion, or emotional dependency. You are remembering that you are a child of God, not a prisoner of someone's insecurity. Michael says you will soon see signs, you will hear something, notice something, feel something, dream something, that confirms this message. God says do not be afraid of the signs. They are not warnings of danger. They are confirmations of your breakthrough. God says someone does not want you to be strong because your strength ends their influence. But God says no force on earth or in spirit can stop what heaven has set in motion for you. You are safe. You are guarded. You are protected by heaven's authority. God says walk forward with courage. What is ahead of you is greater than anything you are leaving behind. Archangel Michael is standing with you, guiding you, lifting you, and clearing your path. God says trust Him, pray to Him, lean into Him, and know that this message is a divine sign that your life is shifting in your favor. God says you will not be harmed. You will not be abandoned. You will not lose anything meant for you. You are stepping into alignment, into clarity, into strength, into divine protection, and into the life you were destined to live. God says this is an urgent message meant only for you. And the moment your eyes fall upon it, heaven leans closer to you, because timing is not an accident. God says that not even a single second here is random, and Archangel Michael is standing so close behind you right now that you can almost feel the soft pressure of protection on your shoulders. God says, listen closely, my child, because what I am about to reveal is something I have delayed for as long as I could, waiting for the perfect moment when your heart is mature enough to hear it and your spirit is strong enough to receive it. God says, this is very important. I am watching over you, and I want you to understand the seriousness of what is unfolding around you, but I also want you to understand that you are safe. Nothing will go wrong with you. My hand is over your life, and my word is already traveling ahead of you to protect every step that comes next. God says there is a reason this message reached you today, at this exact minute. Archangel Michael says, this is urgent, and you must not ignore this. I am telling you what I have seen in the spiritual realm, and I am ordering you to pay attention, because heaven is trying to help you. God says that even though you may feel confused or overwhelmed sometimes, heaven is not confused. Your angels have been watching a particular energy around you, a movement, a whisper, a shifting situation involving someone who does not want you to stay where you are, someone who feels threatened by your presence. Your growth, your anointing, or your destiny. God says, pack your belongings in your spirit. Prepare yourself emotionally and spiritually. Something is changing. Someone does not want you to be where you are, but what they don't realize is that I am the one shifting you higher. God says that you must understand the deeper meaning behind these words. When heaven tells you to pack your belongings, it does not always mean physically gathering items in a suitcase. It means preparing yourself for a divine shift that will pull you away from people, environments, or energies that are no longer aligned with the next level of your life. God says, I am moving you. I am removing you from a place where someone has secretly wished to limit you, silence you, or push you out of the way. They do not want you to rise. They do not want you to prosper. They do not want you to shine. But what they want is irrelevant, because what I, your God, have decided, stands forever. Archangel Michael says, do not ignore this. This is very important. You are stepping into a moment where heaven is exposing intentions hidden behind smiles, conversations, and fake kindness. Someone around you has been carrying a shadow toward you, a silent resentment, a quiet jealousy. They have been pretending to be neutral or supportive, but deep inside, they have been hoping you would struggle. But they underestimated the spiritual covering around you. They forgot you are not alone. They forgot you are chosen. God says, you are safe, my child. I am protecting you. Rest assured, nothing will go wrong with you. Even the things that try to come against you will turn into your stepping stones. I have already assigned angels to surround you. I have already prepared a new environment, a new level, a new opportunity. So when I say pack your belongings, I am telling you that you must detach from the old, release the fear, and get ready to rise. God says that the person who does not want you to be is someone whose spirit recognizes your divine potential even before you fully recognize it yourself. Your light exposes what is hidden in them. Your growth triggers their insecurity. Your strength challenges their illusions of control. And so they have been trying to slow you down, distract you, discourage you, or plant fear in your heart. But God says, you will not be touched. You will not be harmed. You will not be delayed. My shield surrounds you. Archangel Michael says he has been guarding your sleep, your thoughts, your emotions. You may have felt sudden heaviness on certain days, unexplained pressure, sudden confusion, or strange tension around certain people. That was not your imagination, it was spiritual interference trying to affect you. But every single time, Michael stepped in. Every single time, the interference lost its power. Every single time. Heaven covered you. God says it is time to understand that you are being moved into a higher spiritual assignment. The place you are in, either physically or emotionally, is no longer enough for your calling. Someone there cannot handle your growth. Someone there does not want to see your elevation. Someone there is threatened by your divine destiny. And so God is removing you, not to punish you, but to protect you. God says, I do not want you in an environment where your spirit is being drained, your gifts are being suppressed, or your heart is being misunderstood. You deserve peace. You deserve clarity. You deserve growth. You deserve joy. And heaven is preparing to take you into a chapter where you will experience these things on a new level. Archangel Michael says, do not fear this shift. Do not resist it. I am guiding you through it. God says, you are safe. Nothing will go wrong with you. Heaven is not warning you to scare you. Heaven is warning you to prepare you. God is revealing the truth so you can rise without confusion or fear. God says that someone around you has been acting like they support you, but deep inside, they have been hoping for your downfall. Their thoughts have not been pure toward you. Their intentions are not aligned with your well-being. They want you out of their way. They want you to stop growing. They want you to step back so they can step forward. But God says, I am not permitting their wish to come true. Instead, I am turning the situation in your favor. I am lifting you up. God says you must now detach emotionally from the idea of needing approval from people who do not want the best for you. You must detach from environments that do not nurture your soul. You must detach from relationships where you constantly have to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. God says, I created you to shine, not to hide. Archangel Michael says, the person who does not want you to be where you are is about to reveal themselves through their actions, their words, or their sudden behavior. Pay attention. But do not react with anger. Simply observe. Heaven is exposing them so you can move forward with clarity.